What if I told you the key to never being manipulated again might come from the most chaotic character in fiction? No, I'm not talking about being evil or unhinged. I'm talking about thinking like the Joker, not the clown makeup, not the crimes, but the mindset. The ability to make people underestimate you, to turn pressure into power, and to stay 5 steps ahead by being impossible to predict. That kind of thinking doesn't just scare enemies. It confuses manipulators. Because you're not playing their game anymore, you're rewriting the rules. Let's start with something most people don't realize. Manipulators rely on patterns. They need to know what you'll do next. They use your predictability against you. If you're always polite, they'll guilt trip you. If you always want peace, they'll push you just enough to make you fold. But when you become unpredictable, even just a little, everything changes. That's where the Joker mindset begins. There's a story where someone once tried to threaten the Joker, thinking he could use fear to control him. But the Joker didn't react the way most people would. He didn't plead. He didn't panic. He laughed. That laugh wasn't just noise, it was power. Because in that moment, the other person realized something terrifying. He had no idea what the Joker would do next. That's tactic number 1, controlled unpredictability. It doesn't mean being random. It means keeping your options open, breaking routine, and making people think twice before messing with you. Because if they can't read you, they can't manipulate you. Now think about how manipulators often use silence. They stay quiet, wait for you to fill the gap, and then twist your words. The Joker flips that too. He doesn't fear silence, he uses it. He stares. He smiles. He lets people become uncomfortable while he stays calm. That's tactic number 2, own the silence. When someone tries to throw you off by being quiet or cold, don't rush to fix it. Let it sit. Let them feel the pressure to speak. That one shift turns the whole game upside down. Tactic number 3 is something I call emotional chaos, but not in the way you think. It's not about losing control. It's about breaking the script. If someone expects you to get angry, stay calm. If they expect you to chase them for approval, pull back. If they think you'll explain yourself, just nod and walk away. The Joker never reacts the way people expect, and that's what makes him dangerous. You don't have to be rude. You just have to refuse to follow the emotional script they're trying to hand you. I remember watching an interview where the speaker was being baited, asked rude questions meant to make them explode. But instead of getting defensive, they just smiled and said, "Interesting question." That was it. No rant. No emotional outburst. Just calm disarmament. And the interviewer? Totally thrown off. What? Because the script didn't play out. That's power. That's Joker-level thinking. Here's the 4th tactic, and it's one of the most misunderstood: play dumb on purpose. This one's sneaky. When someone's trying to trap you with a question or pull you into a fake compliment, don't jump to show how smart you are. Pause. Ask them to explain. Make them repeat it. Smile like you don't get it. Why? Because manipulators hate repeating themselves. They lose momentum. They get annoyed. And suddenly they're the ones off balance. You haven't even done anything aggressive. You just refuse to play their game the way they want it. Ever notice how the Joker sometimes looks like he's losing, but he's actually 3 moves ahead? That brings us to tactic number 5, misdirection. In real life, this means letting people underestimate you on purpose. Maybe they think you're naive or too nice or too slow. Let them. Because while they're looking down on you, you're observing. You're learning. And when it matters, you strike where they never saw it coming. I've seen people use this in meetings. They sit quietly, nod along, let the loud ones talk over each other. Then when the moment is right, they say one sentence, clear, confident, undeniable. And suddenly the whole room shifts. Because while everyone else was trying to win the room, they were watching the room. That's not weakness. That's precision. And it throws manipulators off completely because they never expected you to hold the winning card. You don't have to wear a mask to use these tactics. You just have to understand what makes manipulators tick, and then choose to move differently. You don't need to be the loudest, the smartest, or the fastest. You just need to stop being predictable. That alone makes you harder to control than almost anyone in the room. And there's more to it. Because once you stop being predictable, people will start testing you in new ways. They'll poke, they'll push, they'll try to figure you out. That's when the deeper tactics come in, the ones most people never see coming. Let's go even deeper. Once you've thrown people off with your unpredictability and calm silence, manipulators will try something else. Pressure. They'll create fake urgency, stir up drama, or pretend something's about to fall apart just to make you react fast. Because when you rush, you stop thinking clearly. That's where Tactic 6 comes in. Slow the game down. The Joker never rushes. He lets the world spin in chaos while he stays still. It's like being the eye of the storm. If someone pressures you to answer right now, don't say, "I'll get back to you." If they demand an immediate yes or no, say, "I need to think." That tiny pause? It kills their control. They wanted to corner you. Instead, you created space. And in that space, you regain your power. I had a friend who got offered a huge opportunity, but the catch was he had to decide on the spot. The people offering it kept saying, "You don't want to miss this, right?" But something felt off. So he smiled and said, "If this deal vanishes because I want to think for a day, then it was never real to begin with." And guess what? They backed off. Because the pressure was fake. And they lost all control the moment he slowed down the pace. But what if the manipulator changes tactics? What if instead of pressure they try flattery? That's Tactic 7, spot the bait. This is where the Joker's mindset becomes almost surgical. He knows when a compliment is real and when it's bait. If someone suddenly praises you right before asking for a favor, that's bait. If they compliment you and then twist the mood into guilt or urgency, that's bait. And you don't have to attack them for it. You just don't bite. Nod. Smile. Say thanks. But don't react emotionally. It's weird how powerful this is. You'd think ignoring fake flattery is basic, but it stuns people. Manipulators want a reaction. If you don't give them one, their whole plan crumbles. You've probably seen this in real life. Someone goes, "Wow, you're so talented, can you help me with this thing I totally messed up?" And if you say no, they act shocked, like you owe them. But the Joker? He just smiles like he's in on the joke. And he moves on. Here's the deeper layer to all of this. The Joker isn't just chaotic, he chooses his chaos. That's different from being messy or emotional. He creates confusion, but always with purpose. That's what makes him powerful. And in the real world, it means owning your identity without asking for permission. When you show up in a way that's fully you, not trying to be liked, not trying to please everyone, people don't know what to do with that. Some will try to shape you. Others will back away. But manipulators? They panic. Because they can't control someone who doesn't need their approval. That's what scares them the most. I remember being in a group where one person was always the leader. They told everyone what to do, who to like, how to talk. Most people followed because it was easier. But one guy didn't. He never fought. He just stayed true to himself. If he didn't want to go along, he didn't. If he didn't like something, he stayed silent. And slowly the leader lost power. Because you can't control someone who won't play the game. That guy? Total Joker energy. And there's something else. The Joker never defends himself. He doesn't sit around explaining or apologizing. That's another power move you can use. Don't over-explain. If someone accuses you or pressures you to justify yourself, pause. Ask yourself, do I owe them an explanation? Most of the time you don't. You can just say, "That's not true," or "That's not how I see it." Then stop talking. The silence after that? It's louder than any speech. One of the most dangerous things manipulators do is twist your words. They use your own explanations against you. But if you keep your words tight, they have nothing to twist. This doesn't mean you have to be cold. It means being careful. Think like the Joker, less is more. A quiet no is often stronger than a loud excuse. And if all this feels intense, it's because it is. You're not just protecting your time or energy. You're protecting your mind. Manipulation starts by making you doubt yourself. But when you train your brain to stay calm, to wait, to break patterns, you become stronger than any trick they can throw at you. Most people never learn this. They keep reacting, explaining, chasing approval. But not you. Not anymore. You've seen behind the curtain. And every time you use one of these tactics, you remind them, and yourself, that you are not someone who's easy to play. Now, the final piece is the most important one. It's what ties all of these together. And it's something most people get wrong about the Joker. The most important thing the Joker understands, the thing that makes his chaos so powerful, is that true freedom isn't about being unpredictable for the sake of it. It's not just about confusing people or acting out. It's about freedom from control, the freedom to decide who you are, what you do, and how you feel no matter what's happening around you. That's the real power. When you're not swayed by what others think, you're not playing their game. And that's where the Joker's genius lies. He doesn't react. He acts. He doesn't let others set his boundaries. He defines them for himself. And that's what you can do too. Think about the last time someone tried to manipulate you. Maybe it was a friend, a coworker, or a family member. They tried to get you to do something you didn't want to do. They made you feel guilty, pressured, or like you didn't have a choice. In that moment, they were trying to control your actions, but you were too busy reacting to even notice the power shift happening. Here's the thing. If you let them manipulate you, you're giving them power over your choices. And that's what makes the Joker so dangerous. He doesn't let anyone else control his choices. He knows that by staying true to himself, not reacting, and not needing their approval, he controls the game. That's why the Joker never apologizes for who he is. He never second-guesses himself. And that's what makes him impossible to manipulate. If you want to be like that, you've got to stop chasing validation and stop reacting to pressure. Start choosing your responses instead of letting others choose them for you. Think about it like this. Every time someone tries to manipulate you, they're trying to change your behavior. But if you don't react to their pressure, they lose. They can't control you if you don't let them. And that's the key. You're not trying to manipulate them back. You're just standing firm in your own decisions regardless of what they want. The Joker doesn't get stuck in the trap of emotions. He's cool under pressure because he knows that emotions can be manipulated. If you react too quickly, if you let your emotions control you, they have the power. But if you stay calm and don't get sucked into their chaos, you keep your power. That's what you've learned in these tactics. Don't give them a reaction. That's your shield. That's your defense. It's about staying in control of yourself, even when everything around you is trying to make you lose it. By mastering your emotions and your reactions, you make it impossible for anyone to push your buttons. And when no one can push your buttons, they can't manipulate you. But here's the twist. Just because you're playing this mental game doesn't mean you should be heartless. The Joker might act like he's unpredictable and unfeeling, but that's just part of his act. Deep down, he has a purpose. He's not random, he's strategic. So, when you apply these tactics, remember the goal isn't to hurt people. It's to protect yourself. Control yourself, not others. You don't have to be cold or unkind to be strong. You don't have to be loud or aggressive to get what you want. You don't have to fight fire with fire. The real strength comes from choosing your own path, staying true to yourself, and not letting others pull you off track. That's the real Joker method. Stay calm, stay unpredictable, and never let anyone control your mind. And when you live by that, you'll become someone who can't be easily manipulated. People will try. They'll throw everything they have at you. But at the end of the day, the only one who decides what you do next is you. And that's the ultimate power. So what happens now? What happens when you put all of these tactics into practice? Well, you might start to notice a shift. People around you might start to treat you differently. Maybe they'll try to manipulate you less because they realize you're not easily swayed. Maybe you'll start to feel more confident, more in control of your own decisions. And that's when you'll know you've mastered the Joker method. You've learned how to stay true to yourself, how to navigate manipulation, and how to make chaos work for you, not against you. The final secret? The Joker's chaos is just as much about mindset as it is about actions. It's about how you see the world and how you react to it. So get ready. The next time someone tries to manipulate you, remember this. The Joker doesn't react. He chooses his response. And that's what makes him unbeatable.